The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Kommunity Kerbals. I am your host, Devious Dave Rose, and today we are determined to rescue those stranded on the moon, including myself. But I have a few tricks up my sleeve today, and we're going to talk about it. So let's start off, as always, by showing our appreciation and gratitude for those that have shown up in our chat today. And we've got Jim Kays. We got Big Merc 83, and yeah, we have a few viewers obviously right now, 7, and we keep seeing those thumbs up or thumbs down increase. Obviously, individuals that are just probably intimidated by my vast intelligence, as well as my joy in space, and your joy in space. Regardless, let's get going with this. We've got a lot to do. So, hey, beer taster. Oh, that reminds me, since I do actually need to monitor the chat, I'm going to open up my phone here to the video. And activate the chat. And by the way, I'm not sure if you heard me the other day, but I was commenting on a show that I recently started watching called For All Mankind. And it's essentially an alternate version of history where the Russians landed on the moon first, but the space race didn't really end. And it continued, and there was a lot of militarization of space, and yeah, it just seems like a very cool series. Season 2 just started. I think the next episode is somewhat, I think it's next week? It's on Apple TV, so... yeah, it's this week. I think it's Friday. But, yeah. Alright, so I will now be going into the game, so I'll only be able to glance to the phone to see the chat. But once I get the second monitor installed, I should be able to not have to move my head so much. I don't know, I haven't determined yet how I'm going to arrange the monitors. It'll probably be on an arm of some sort. So, okay, let's get to this here. Let me get to the game. And it looks like the stream is, in fact, loading it up, which is good. And we're going to save YR. And we're going to save Junebug. And yes, we're even going to save SC Steve. So we're going to go back to our Kommunity Kerbals game. And, you know, this is an adult game because you've got to calculate orbital velocities, circularization, fuel quantities, you know, not like that kiddie stuff like Red Dead Revolver. But, yeah, let's get going here. Now, something that everyone should be aware of is that the administration isn't looking very good for having failed rescuing twice now those on the moon. So there's a division in the Kerbal military that has access to certain technologies that they've essentially allowed the Kerbal space program to utilize. It's still classified, and they're not really talking too much about it, but they are at least coordinating with us so that we can utilize this technology to save those who are left on the moon. See, there is something over there we can always visit later. But now what we have to do is we're going to be creating our vehicle assembly building. We're going to our vehicle assembly building because we are now going to be building our rescue ship. Now, we're going to go with let's see here, because this is going to actually be, it's utilizing a new type of technology based on the Davetron DocsBox system. And it essentially is self-aware. So this is, it's a very unique type of technology, and very, very capable, but also very dangerous. And it has an attitude too, so we have to be careful about that. But it will be essentially it's an artificial intelligence, so obviously it's not going to cost any lives if there's damage or anything like that. But it's programmed to be extremely efficient with how it functions. So we will call this, let's see here. We're going to call this the Triumph. The KSS Triumph. Just bear with me here. Sorry about that. Just misplacing my things. Okay, so actually, let's see. Actually, because this is the Community Spaceship Triumph. Third time's a charm. A charm. Powered by DocsBox 1 and 2. Okay, so now we just choose our craft that we're going to have land. Actually, no, sorry. We're going with which one? This one. All right, so this is now our artificial intelligence unit, which is going to manage most aspects of the rescue. It'll be in constant communication with Community Space Control. Well, we have to. There also is some changes to the naming systems. By the way, if anyone would like to call in, we could use somebody on the ground to provide some input, as well as some assistance at Community Space Center. That is the new name, the now official name of where everything launches, Community Space Center. So from here, what we are doing is we are finding a particular fuel tank. Yeah, they're down here. All right. Now, this is going to be a particularly challenging rescue mission, so we're gonna actually, is that a little too big? I need a battery. Alright, we need to make sure that our fuel is balanced. So usually it's better to have something up here. If you're gonna, because we're not taking a full-size tank, we're taking a half a tank and a quarter tank size. And the first one obviously on top will empty out first. So if it was larger, it would cause we want the center of gravity lower, always lower. So that will be fairly good, but we still actually need to ensure that we have another type of fuel, which is our RCS. There it is. This provides what are called monopropellants. This is thrusters for maneuvering, usually in orbit. They do help in low gravity situations, though. And I'm not sure if you ever, if those that are watching ever knew about this, But there's a reason why these are painted in this manner, with these checkered patterns. Now, you'll notice a lot of the time that when rockets are sent up, they do a spin. They do what's called a roll. And this actually helps those the tracking stations on the ground to figure out how quick it's rolling, if it's being efficient in how it's rolling, as well as perhaps any deformations in the surface of the fuel tank. So it's a really cool thing that they figured out long ago. However, let's see here. Fuel is the concern. Although, again, we are working with certain technologies, but we don't know, we don't have the full information because they're classified. So we do have to go off what we've been advised are the minimal constraints. Let's see here. Another issue would be when landing on the moon. We don't want it too tall. It would be a challenge for the astronauts to get back in there. But we got to make sure that we can. Yes, we're going to have to go big. We're not going to allow this administration to look like fools again. It's our duty now to make sure that the president looks good in front of not just the nation, but the world. So we're going with a new type of engine. Where did it go? There it is. It says toroidal aerospike. Extremely powerful. What we're also going to do is we're going to use the Thud liquid engine. Actually, before we do that, what we need to do is, okay, we need to make sure our thrusters are in place. So command control. It's a big ship. She's fat all around. So we want to make sure that we have on all our axes. We need rockets, but we need legs. So we go with the largest landing strut available. Now, positioning as well is important. These thrusters aren't that bad. I mean, we could put them over this, but that'll block some of the exhaust. And we can put them here, but we still need to add these guys. And a lot of the times rockets, when they shoot down, the plume is larger and can damage or even ignite the friggin' rocket. So we don't want that. Just going back to the chat. We're not just going back to the moon, SE Steve. We're going to save everyone. Festlove, hey man, what's up? After this DDR, can you build Tiger Woods' new legs? Yeah, I heard about that. That's bad, man. I don't know the details and stuff, and you know, I'm trying to stay positive too, so gonna have to wait a while before I figure out what happened. But I heard they had to extract them from the vehicle. Yeah, it's very, very, you know, horrific type thing. Alrighty. So, the CSS Triumph requires landing legs. Yeah, how are we going to do this? Now, we're adding redundancies here. We don't want to risk. I don't want to risk anything, but the challenge is getting the legs and the booster, the thrusters. Okay, we're going to have to move this up. If we want to have at least... Clearance is also important. Look at the amount of clearance from the ground here. We would want... No, I didn't say that. We would want it to be a little higher, so the clearance is a lot less. And it's not really that necessary, at least in certain environments. In real life, you want to make sure it's just enough so that all the shit that it's throwing up, like when the rockets shoot down on the ground, especially on the moon, they're throwing up what's called regolith, or the dirt. And it's got rocks and shit in there. So this stuff will start pelting the underside of this stuff, and it can just destroy this thing. And you need that stuff when you're fucking landing. You need those engines working. So the clearance between the ground and the rocket nozzle is so important. And obviously this is a game and stuff, but I'm trying to play it a little realistic here. But also you got to remember, if the terrain is slanted slightly or it's uneven, a portion of land might actually hit this rocket engine, but not this side. So it's just important to know how to position your stuff and, you know, anticipate the potentials of the environment. Let's go a little bit more. I like that clearance. The issue is now also we need to get a method for them to climb up, because the capsule will be up here. Now, one thing I do want to tell you guys, because I didn't show it prior, I told you guys I'd be showing more advanced features, but under advanced up here, you get all these different options. There's things called sub-assemblies. So what you can do is you can take a portion of the rocket, put it here, you drag it here, and then you just save it so you don't have to keep making it again. Very cool option. So Moon Rescue is just this capsule here. But because of the way that this game is designed, you can't sort of, it's waiting for you to put it on bottom instead of the top. So there's different ways of doing this. But regardless, is we're still putting capsules on there so that we can rescue them. Alright, so let's go to a coupler. We need to get this one here, nice big stack separator. Then we're going to need to go with a nice big thermal heat shield. Then we're going to get capsule 1. Oops, yeah, capsule 1. Capsule 2. This is based off the Avenger capsule. As you remember, in our previous editions, we created the CSS Avenger. By the way, we're going to have to call this DVS test. Should it be DVS test? I thought this was CSS Avenger. Oh no, CSS Triumphant. Let's just go Triumphant. Oh, it's because I tried to add the fucking... yeah, that's kind of stupid. I tried to add the sub-assembly and change the name on me. So, let's just call it just Triumph for now. Save this. Alright. Just looking at the chat here. And goodbye, you fake Scott accounts, because I know that's not Scott. Okay, so this will be our capsule to put everyone into. This is going to be a fucking challenge. Actually, it's not going to be that bad. Okay. Alrighty, guess this is how we're going to do this. Structural, utility. Usually the ladders are much easier to access when they're flat, but that should be good. Hold on. I need to get those guys in there. That's the big thing. Oh, there we go. That's better. Okay, so get this up. Actually, technically, yes. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. All right. So, next thing is we retract all of them. And we're actually going to have, yes, we're going to have lights. I want to make sure that we can see our landing spot. I saw there was a smaller light. You know what? We're not going to go with the lights. Actually, you know what? We will go with the lights. Fuck it. Save that. That structural, we need to reinforce the capsule here. Oops. So, little one here. Trogs. Let's see, 1, 3, or 2 trogs. Three of these guys. So this was, I believe, our trogue. No, it's just regular parachutes. We're gonna put one more trogue here. Alright. Parachutes obviously go at the end. Rockets go at the beginning. But we do want different types of rockets, so. Or I should say, we want. We want different stages here. So, this one first. Those. Yes, beer taster. Everyone's, including myself, are also on the moon, waiting. But we have Triumph, which is powered by Davetron. So this will, this will definitely get to the moon because Davetron is, it's reached self-awareness. So it's like Skynet now, and it apparently loves Kerbals because it's actually going to go to the moon to rescue them. Let's see here. Okay, we got our ladders ready to go. Our parachutes, rockets. We want actually our action groups. This was another feature I didn't show you guys just yet, but let's see here. Fuck it, we're gonna do full stage. Alright, here, stage, and last but not least, control 2. So we're good to go. These should be in a separate group. Alright, so we're finally ready to launch. well, that looks like it's the end of this stream. Because, yeah, too many thermal issues with the computer. I'm pushing the limits too far. So we're going to have to end it. Thermal issue. It's fun playing around while I could. But I hope to regulate these issues in the future, and we can have fun again. Do appreciate that those that did show up today. YR, Falmouse Can, Beer Taster, Festlove, Jim K's. I see Steve, Big Merc. I think I said Jim K's, but yeah, sorry guys. Didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But hey, it is what it is. I had some fun, and I'm glad that you joined me for it. Hope you guys have a good night. I'll be on actually tonight with Foulmouth Ken and Nikki Nines on Foulmouth's Live Wire. So be sure to check that out, 8:45, 9 p.m. tonight. And yeah, we'll see you all next time.